Hey everyone. So I know I said I'd make a video about Austria today, but I'm lazy. So I figured today, instead, I'd give you an abridged history of Canada. So with me today is Captain Canuck himself, Escape from Tuesday World, Daniel! Hello Dan! Oh, okay, heavy. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First thing you need to know, 1892, Canada became a country, founded by Queen Victoria.
Absolutely. She came here, down here with Lester B. Pierce.
Exactly.
The freedom of bow ties.
It was at stake, really.
Yeah,
That's what Canada's founded on, really.
Yeah.
And you see the maple leaf on our flag? That's not a maple leaf. That's three bow ties connecting together to form love.
I believe they represent peace, harmony,
And the American way.
The American way. Yes. In fact, America was so angered with our bow tie love that they tried to invade back 1812.
Yes, 1812. That was actually before we became an official country. But yeah, no, they invaded, and it was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. Who won that war again? Was it the Leafs?
Yes, the Maple Leafs won that war.
Yeah, that was a good war. But I hope the Stanley Cup that year.
Yeah.
First time in a long time.
First time, even way before the National Hockey League was assembled.
So 1892, founded by Queen Victoria. Next thing you need to know, 1903, the Great Donut Market crash.
Oh, that was horrifying. Tim Hortons, actual president of Canada, is Tim
Yes.
Horton.
See, he was originally a warlord, but he became the official president of Canada in 1897.
After his party took the entire house.
Yes,
because of course he was a dictator.
Yeah, the Donut Party took over. So after he became president, the demand for supplies of donuts was so great that the donut market just crashed. Like seriously, there was a market of donuts and it completely fell over on its side. All the donuts were spilled. Everyone rushed to the grocery store, bought all the donuts they could, but it was too late for most of them. I mean, they were all gone.
All gone.
It was terrifying. It was truly the darkest hour in Canadian history. Now we jump ahead to 1927. Dan, tell us about 1927.
1927 is when Canada elected Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who, well, finally this was the first democratically elected prime minister.
Since Lester B. Pearson himself.
Yes.
Granted, back then there was only two people who could vote: the prime minister elect and the Queen herself. And of course, they both voted Lester B. Pearson because they kind of had a thing going on. The difference in Canada is prime ministers are democratically elected. Presidents are warlords.
Yes, the prime minister.
So between 1897 and 1927, we only had warlords. Sorry, Dan, I interrupted. Continue.
The prime minister is actually the debate mainly on which person could be elected prime minister is which one could cut the best meat.
Yes. It wasn't just one kind, mind you. They had the back bacon ceremony.
Oh dear.
They had the smoked meat procession. And then they went to the prairies to like see if they could wrestle their own cows and then just like cut them off with a switchblade.
The battle for Charlton. Yes.
Yes, exactly. See, this is a replica of one of the switchblades I used. This isn't the real switchblade because I can't bring switchblades to YouTube. This is a comb. But what? I thought we couldn't bring weapons over the border.
No. Right. That is one of the.
Yes. Here's the thing. I'm from Toronto. Dan's from Toronto too. But if I wasn't from Toronto, if I was from BC, British Columbia, which is actually a section that once belonged to Columbia, but the British came in and took over. And
Yes.
I know I'm jumping like 60 years, but after the Democratic leader was elected, it was just Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He brought such peace to this country. There wasn't really any great turmoil in the country until 1984, when Big Brother took over.
Yes, Big Brother, also known as Brian Mulroney.
Yes, it was quite sad. Quite
Very
sad.
sad that only the Conservative Party seems to bring turmoil.
You see, we almost had a repeat of the donut crisis again. Almost another dark age.
They tried to hide it by calling it the general sales tax.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't true.
They called it a shortage of donuts. In fact, they tried to cover it up, but it didn't work. We could tell that the donuts were fleeting.
Yes.
Our donut days would soon be over. Until Tim Horton III came back.
Oh, Tim Horton III.
In 1987. Dan, tell us about 1987.
Well, you see, he erected, at 1987, Tim Horton III erected the CN Tower, which was actually a nuclear weapon in disguise, right in the heart of Toronto. And right there, he basically kept Canada hostage until we decided to go democratic again.
But that's actually another thing I forgot to tell you about. In between that dark ages where nothing happened between 1927 and 1984, there was a series of small conflicts. I believe it was called World War II.
Oh, World War II.
But you know, Canada, we took part in that, but we were, I don't know, it was a global crisis. But at home, we felt safe knowing that our donuts were protected.
Yes. In fact, I believe that's what we used mainly to defeat the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
donuts.
In fact, we fattened the Fuhrer up pretty bad. And then, 1996. You know what happened in 1996, Daniel? I'll tell you what happened in 1996.
Oh, you go ahead.
The Doctor Who movie was filmed in Canada.
Yes, which united
All of
entire
us.
creeds of people
All of
who
us.
were just. Yes.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. In fact, actually, it was a proud moment in 1963 when a Canadian, one of the creators of Doctor Who, was a Canadian, and this is true. You better listen. He was actually a Canadian, and it was kind of a proud moment for us. But in 1996, when it was filmed here, it was like we had national parades with Paul McGann riding on the float. Now, in the movie, it was actually San Francisco, but we all knew where it really was.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up. Okay, so 1999,
1999, Nunavut, after
years of war.
finally joined Canada in its peaceful
Yes,
efforts.
it was
Well, actually, they're trying to escape from Santa Claus and his evil reign
Yes.
up there. At the
They
north.
tried to claim refugee status, but in fact we said no, we'll take you as a province, which marks the first time a province has ever been brought into Canada in a democratic manner. That doesn't include territories, though. Territories are always a very bloody war.
They call themselves a territory sometimes, but really they are a province.
Yes, they technically speaking, for tax reasons, we call them a territory, but we all know better. They're very much a province.
Very much.
They're here in our hearts with the other 12 provinces,
Yes.
and of course
I agree.
7 territories.
Exactly.
So this brings us to the modern day, where
Canada reclaimed the moon.
yes, in fact, actually, I'm sure you Americans out there, you know that Newt Gingrich is promising a colony on the moon if he gets elected. Don't tell him, but we're actually already up there.
We're in fact filming from
The moon base,
Canuck Colony Moon Base.
number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. Yes. See, I've got my helipad, just above my house, and I get in there, I get in my copter, and I fly to that moon. So we're going upwards and onwards in the future, and actually, in fact, we're aiming that by 2050 there'll be a second Doctor Who movie filmed in Canada. We're hoping. Here's hoping. Go Canada.